Hello friends, welcome back. I'm Agam and you're in my channel Agam's Tech Tricks. So today I'll show you how to easily and quickly convert any website into a desktop app with Electron. Now what is Electron? Electron is basically a framework, runtime framework, which helps you convert a website or either any HTML, CSS or JS website into a desktop app. It's a blend of Nodejs and Chromium. So it's like it runs on Chromium and Nodejs has its backend, like the dependencies, etc. So let's start. Now, to convert a website, for example, I have my blog website at agam778.isadev, or we have any website like google.com or github.com. Many websites are there. So if there are some websites you want to convert it to an app and with some extensions etc. also. So basically what people do is just go to the website, click the three dot and three menu button, and then this click install as app. But like if you want to convert it, like you want to make it as a native app, not as a browser app itself, so this framework Electron will help you do that. And I'll today show you how to quickly make a website into an app with Electron. And I've also made a template for it. So what you have to do is just clone this template, edit some part of the files. I'll tell you whatever to edit and even show you how it will result. And then you can just build it and distribute it. Like if you want to distribute, or you can just build it for personal use, etc. For example, I have built an Electron app called MS Office Electron. And like this is the Office web app, the office.com website into an app with some features, extra features like auto updater, etc. And I'll also add dark mode later. So there are many features and we can even add some, like we can add from, there's a very big library on npm.js. Here, npm is basically the node package manager. I'll tell you everything one by one. So there are many libraries and packages here which will help you to improve your Electron app. So what this basically does is, where's the Windows one? And what this basically does is, it also checks for like if you are online or offline, and if you are offline it will give you a warning. I'll teach you everything. I'll also link this in the description so you can see and download and try with whatever you want to do anytime. So now let's start with this template I have made. I'll also link this you in the description. And now let's start. What we have to do is you have to just click use this template. I'll not do that because this is my template only, of course. So I'll just clone it, https, and you have to now install git command. It is git-scm.com. This is a git command that is used to handle all the repositories etc. from your terminal only. So to clone a repository, GitHub repository, we have to install this app, this command line app first, and then we will use. So for me it's currently installed. I'll go to the command prompt. And here I'll run git clone and whatever my URL is, whatever we just copied. Right click for the CMD. And this will also work on Linux and Mac OS. I'll just tell you, you have to just install first of all git. And now I'll just change the directory to this app. And now what we have to do for this app, we have to just install Nodejs. Like I told you that it uses Node.js. So we have to first install Node.js for everything to work. And if you are on Windows, you have to just go to the website. I'll link you. And click latest one, the current 16.10.01. So you have to click this. And if you are Linux on Mac OS, on Linux, I assume that you must have this homebrew package manager installed, like everyone has it. So if it is not installed, I would recommend to install. and just here Nodejs like this. So you can run brew install node, and for Linux they are on many the what we say package managers like apt etc. And even on if you are on Arch Linux you can use the Arch user repository. Here in the downloads one we have this what we say all download options. Here are the zip files, tar files, and if you want to install via the package manager like the app which I told you. So I'll also link you this, like it says for Gentoo emerge, and then Mac OS it says brew install node. We can also install from the official script, and then many things are there. For talking about Ubuntu, so we have a deb file here. I'll link you this also in the description. So we can just download and install, and they even have a script like for auto updating and adding in the repos etc. So now we have to install for Windows. Just go to the site and 16.10.0. Just save the file. It will take some time. Open it. I'm on Windows 11 currently. It also works on 10 etc. It would be recommended that if you do this, but I won't do this currently because it takes time. Like it will all install all the others, but like if you don't want much tools, so you can also skip it. I won't do it currently. User authentication window will pop up. Just click yes because it installs to the C drive etc. It will just take little time because I skipped that. And see, it is saying completed the Node.js setup wizard. You have to click finish and node-v, node-v. So it currently, like we have to open it again, I guess. Node-v. And yes, it now says 16.10.0, which we just installed. And with this also, the node package manager npm, which I just told you before, also installs itself. npm-v. It will show you the npm version. But for the package manager, we will just use yarn. Yarn is a better one, and I preferably like that. And the builder also which will we use, I'll tell you everything. That prefers the builder which we'll use, so that prefers yarn to install. So what we have to do, just install yarn now. Yarn. For installing yarn, we have to install it through npm only, node package manager. So it's like npm install -g. Now -g means globally, not just under a project. npm install -g yarn. Also, if you have noticed, in my repository there must be a yarn.log file. This, so it means I use yarn obviously. Now it says installed one, audited 2 packages, change 1 packages. So we have to just now yarn-v, and now it says 1.22.15, which is the latest release of version 1, and I would currently recommend to use version 1 only. Now let's clear everything and cd to the base directory. And now for the editing the code, you have to, like, I use VS Code, but you can use some other editor also. I'm using VS Code currently. Then I'll open it in VS Code only. So open new folder, and then wherever we had cloned, for example, I cloned in the normal one, users directory. Here, see, basic Electron app. You can clone it elsewhere also. Just cd to the directory you want to clone. For example, you can clone to the documents folder, and then clone it there, and then open it from there. So for example, this is my current code. Just trust it. The next is, you have to go to the package.json file first. This is all where our configuration is there. For example, all the app, what is the name, etc. So currently I'll use it. For example, currently I will package google.com or duckduckgo.com. Okay, I'll package duckduckgo.com. So it will be like this is a website currently, and now it will be converted to a app, native app, in fact. And you can even build it for Mac, for Linux, for Windows, but you'll have to be like, if you have to build on Mac, you'll have to be on an original Mac, and Linux, so you have to be on Linux, because some things are currently bugged and you can't build Linux on Windows and Windows on Linux, etc. So I'll just change this website into a desktop app, native desktop app. So I'll just rename it DuckDuckGo. This is the name. I'll just make it as Electron. And here, this is the name which will be shown here in the start menu, like it shows. And that will be shown in the command prompt, like the original package name while packaging. So here is the product name which will be shown in the desktop and the start menu. So I'll here make DuckDuckGo Electron. Like we can add spaces here, etc. And I have just described everything here. This shows the version. So I'll currently make it 0.1.0. And this is the description. So I'll just change it like DuckDuckGo search engine as a native desktop app, or whatever you want. I'll also improve the readme.md and just write here also what you have to change. And here, for example, I don't currently have a GitHub repo. For example, my MS Office Electron app, I'll show you that code also. We can just change the GitHub repo link, for example, github.com, that my repo. Or otherwise, if you don't have any repository, just remove this. And here, app ID. So we can just change it like agam.ddg electron. And app name again, DuckDuckGo Electron, the big one. Then here are the category. Like whenever we browse the apps in the Linux, it shows a category like Office, Games, Utility, etc. So I have also given you a URL in the code. You can just copy it and go to your browser. And here are all the categories, like app categories here. Here, these are all the categories. So I'll currently make it utility, because it's basically a utility category only. Or network won't work. Okay, I'll make it utility for now. You can change it anytime. So I'll change it to utility. Okay, I'll increase the size. Yes. Yes, better now. Now comment app description, like it's for Linux only basically. So still I'll change it. Just copy this, paste this here, app name again. Then startup notify, just leave this all default. And talking about the category, again we'll just change it to the utility thing. And make sure this thing is there. Like don't remove this. Just keep this, will be better. Otherwise the app category won't show. Oops. Next, talking about the app icon. Like all the apps have icon, like a Firefox, Brave, File Explorer, etc. They all have an icon. So like this is a template, of course, so I gave Electron as an icon, but you can change it and it should be PNG format only. And would be better if you make it above, or just minimum should be 512 into 512. Like I gave you this one, so I'll just change it. Then again, artifact name. Like Electron Builder sometimes gives spaces in the name, so it would be better like you give your name itself. So it will be like DuckDuckGo Electron, then setup, and then because this will be when we build the app, so it will show this installer. And this is the version which we just gave above. It will automatically take itself. And then the architecture. For example, I'll build for x64 only. And dot extension will be like, if you are building for Linux, it will be like .deb, .rpm, etc. And for Mac is .dmg, etc. like this. So currently I'll build on for Windows, and then it will be .exe. So leave this as default, this, and just change your app name. Then app name again. You'll have to change this again and again. And then maintainer, for example, my name is Agam and my email is this. If you don't want to give, you can also just leave this email. Otherwise I am just giving like it. You can make it like just without the email. It would be better to give the email. Okay. So this is now target. For example, if you are building for Linux, because in the Linux, so it's like target currently. Like if you want only deb file or rpm file, or it also builds for app image, so you can remove or add it accordingly. But I am not building for Linux, so I'll just remove this comment. Yes. So this is currently deb rpm, but if you build on Linux, it depends that if you are only building for your system, for example, you use Ubuntu and you only want for yourself, just make this deb and remove those all like this. Okay, so this is for the deb file, bzip2, just leave this as default. Now for Mac, if you are building for Mac, so this is the category. I have also linked it. Just copy this URL. Yes, these are the application categories, like just we had for Linux. Here it is utilities, so I just copy it where it gone is. See, public.app.category.utilities. I'll copy this, change this with utilities. You can choose whatever you want. Copy paste. Yes. Now this is the target for Mac. I have kept it DMG. You can change it. And this is for NSYS. This is for Windows. For example, if you have a license, like I gave license here, and you have to just change your name. For example, Agam. So I change this, and then license. If you have some different license, or like if you don't have a license, you can even remove this. This is basically just for that NSYS, like which is the installer for Windows. This is basically just for that only. And next is the target, and then it is directories about the release. Like whenever we build, it will build in the release folder. And then next comes the scripts, etc. It is just like the start, etc. added, leave it default. And then the author. Coming about the author, you have to just keep your name. For example, I added my name, and then just change your email here. And if you don't have an email, you can just like remove this one, like just delete this, and it won't take the email, or I am just keeping it currently. And then you can add your website also, like if you have any. Otherwise, like I'm just adding my, like I have currently. If you don't have, just you can remove this one. Or otherwise, like if you don't want to give both email and website, you can just remove both. Otherwise keep both, or it's just your wish. I am currently keeping both only. Next, talking about license, this you can here change it or not. It's just different from license.txt, but you have to mention there also. Next are the just dependencies, like whatever dependencies, I'll keep them updated in the repository. You can check whenever you want. Now everything, this was just the configuration. Now comes the main file, and here are all the dependencies. So I have just linked every dependency. I'll remove this, and I'll also here this is the main browser window. It requires Electron. Then this is dialog, like whenever user is offline, it will show. I'll show you below. Then this is the about window. This is just for Mac only. And this is the path, like we don't require it. You can remove also, but I just kept it, and you can just leave it also as default. I'll comment it. and this is the Electron. You can just leave it, or it's optional only, like you can add it here also, but I'll just keep it as default. And this is the is online. For example, if the user is offline, so he'll just he'll just get a what we say template, he'll just get a dialog. And this is the top menu bar, just leave this as default, the above one. Now comes about the application, like it is like about your application. I'll show you how it looks like afterwards. Then like we have an app, so it has all the names etc. So we can just change the name. For example, it's currently DuckDuckGo Electron for now. So and now comes in the icon path, just keep the name as default, and here icon PNG which I showed, you have to keep that only, or you can change your icon. And there's the product name, the app name we have. Then comes about the copyright, just keep your name here. And like if you don't want a copyright, for example in my old app I had Microsoft instead of MS, and that was copyrighted, that word was copyrighted by Microsoft, so I just renamed it to MS. Like you can take a non-copyrighted word, or you can just remove this copyright. I'll show you. Just change the name of the app, debug it. Like I made it MS Office Electron, so it doesn't like the legal issues etc. So I just, you can remove this if you want, or if you're running it, or you can just change it to DDG. Just this is, I'm just showing you as an example, so I'll keep this as default and keep this. For example, if you have a GitHub repository for your app, just uncomment this and link to the issues tab of your repository. For example, here I have the issues tab, and just copy this and paste it here, like here. And just like if you have the bug report URL enabled, just uncomment this and make it report an issue. So if you have only, otherwise just let it leave commented. And this is the learn more. For example, if you have made a website of your app, like for example some people make it, or if you have a GitHub readme, for example I have for my app here, which tells about my app, this one, like this tells about my app, whatever it is, so you can link it. Otherwise you can also remove this, like this, just comment this, and this learn more will be gone. So I am commenting it because this is, I'm just showing as an example. And then leave others at default, just leave it. Now this will just build the template, this what we say menu. Now comes about the main window, whatever we launch. This is the icon, this is the width or height. You can just disable it if you want. Like I said, for the specific width or height, it will resize the app accordingly when we launch the app. So I set it specifically, but you can change it whenever you want. Then web preferences, this is like when if node integration true, just leave it as default. Now comes this dev tools false or dev tools true. For example, if I make it true, then it will enable to developer tools. It shows when we press Fn plus F bar F12 or Control Shift I here, like this one. This should be disabled by default, it is good, but if you want to enable it for debugging purposes etc, you can always do. And now comes the auto hide menu bar. Like Firefox has auto hide, and when we press the Alt key, it shows the menu bar, and when we press it again, it hides the menu bar. It's like this. And if you want to show the menu bar whole time, for example whenever the app is running, whole time it should show the menu bar, just make it, just comment this, in fact just comment this or remove this line in fact. Now comes the website you have to load in the app. So I have to load duckduckgo.com, so I'll just remove this. And now comes the user agent. Like for example, if I'm using Brave, or so I'll have the Chrome user agent, and it is always better to have the latest one for the security etc. and currently Electron doesn't have a good one user agent, and it shows that you have an old user agent. So it would be better if you use a user agent, and I have given all three. If you are building for Linux, just uncomment this line or remove this. If you are building for Linux, just uncomment this one and remove others. And if you are building for Windows, just uncomment Windows one and remove others, and same accordingly if you are building for Mac, so you can uncomment that one. So I'm currently building for Windows now. Yes, I'm on Windows x64, and I'll keep updating the user agents. So I'll just remove the don't remove the comma at the end, just uncomment this, and now this is done. And this is the action performed when all the windows of apps are closed. Like I will close this and then all the app closes. And in Mac it is like whenever we close the app, it stays in the dock. So I had made like it will quit the app instead of staying in the dock. And this is when the app is launched, it will create the browser window. And then when action performed when app is ready to use, like when the app is launched and it started loading, etc. So I made this function. It's extra, like you can just comment this or remove this if you want, like comment it, or in fact from here just comment this, and it's optional. What it does is it checks if the user is connected to an online network or not, and if it is not connected, it will show you an dialog window, a box, error box, basically a warning box that you are not connected and this app won't work without that. This app cannot run without an internet connection. You can even change it if you want, but currently I would like this only. Yes, so what you have to do now, just everything is now ready. What you have to do, just delete. I'm deleting the yarn.log. It will be better if I delete it because I have everything else. So what you have to do, just open the terminal. Wait a second. Yes. So what you have to do is just open the terminal or from the command prompt app also, and just run yarn, the package manager installed, and it will install all the dependencies we had in the package.json. Here, Electron builder, about window, and this about window is when about the app it will show, and is online is for checking. You can just remove this dependency if you are not using it. So less dependencies, the more faster app will work. It takes time to install the dependencies, and some dependencies are only for Mac, so it won't work on Windows or Linux. Just ignore them basically. And now it's building all the packages, etc. All the dependencies. This takes little time and it's done. So now what we have to do, run yarn start to our test our app. To this test, it won't build currently. So just click yarn start. Yarn start will only work like if you have in the scripts, and I already given you this in scripts. Now see, I gave you icon.png here, this Electron app, and this is showing here, and our app is ready here, like everything is working. Hello, like we can do whatever we want. Everything is working, and DuckDuckGo is just converted into a Windows app now, and everything. And talking about auto hide, this auto hide menu bar, it will only work when you have what we say packaged app, builded app in fact. So if I turn it false, so it will just be the same and no effect. Here, see, it will currently be like this only. And talking about that, about DuckDuckGo Electron, just click this and it will take the icon.png I showed, the name and the app name, and then the description of the app, and then the copyright thing if you have enabled it or not, and then this all the dependencies used in the app. So if I don't want the copyright, where was that? Yes, if I don't, I'll just remove it. Maybe it should work. About DuckDuckGo Electron, and I see it's written distributed under MIT license, so copyright just got removed. And now if you want to change the icon, I'll just tell you changing the icon. DuckDuckGo icon, like we get this on Google basically. It will change the apps icon. So this is 512 into 512. Just right click, save image, and it should be like icon.png, and it's downloaded. Then in the file explorer or in the VS Code, because I'm using, so I can just delete this icon and change this. Just copy this. Yes, show more options, copy, and just paste it here. Oh, it didn't work, so I'll just move it maybe. Yes, copy. It just added the new icon. And now let's start the app. Let's see if it's work. Yes, see the new DuckDuckGo icon, and here also. And for example, if you go in the about, here also everything just change, all the icons change, and you can change accordingly. So now to build the app, this is just we are debugging the app now currently. To build the app, we have to run yarn distribute. So I have just this one. It will run Electron builder, and just pack, ignore this, it will just pack the source code basically. So I'll just auto hide, I'll just make it true, and we have to run yarn dist. And for the like if you are running this command for the first time, it will take some time to build, etc. So what you have to just do it, yarn dist in fact, and see it's running. I'll just increase this, and it created a release folder like I showed you in package.json. You can change it to anything you want. Now it converted everything to the ICO format for Windows, and this is our nsys file, because on Windows it uses nsys as our default one. Now what we say? Yes, okay. And it will sometimes like it will download some files for packaging, so it's for first time only. Like I had Nodejs previously installed, I just uninstalled before making this video to show the installer thing also. So yes, and this is building for ARC64. Yes, ARC64 is better supported. See, the target is nsys, and here it's building the block map, and it's done. Now we can go to the file explorer where I had my it was basically a basic Electron template app. And in the release one we have this installer now, DuckDuckGo Electron setup. Now let's install this. This is the MIT license which I just showed you here. It will this license will only show in the installer for Windows. Otherwise this license is for your GitHub repo and normally a license to protect. I agree. And this is currently for me only. I'll install for me only, not globally. And I can run it, or I'll just run it. Finish. And ta-da! Now our Electron app is ready. And it was like we have to just change some code only and not fully also. And everything is ready. You can just change. And if you have some issues like something is not working, you can just go to my repository, this basic template one. this one which I just showed you, and you can just go and create an issue in the issues tab. So I'll help you fix that, or I'll change the code source and everything, and this template will be updated. So just like the user agents etc., they will be kept updated. Here for example, just everything will work. And talking about this, about the app, this also distributed under MIT license, and it comes in the start menu, or here also it creates a desktop shortcut. And here also, like if I click watch here, and just if you do more at YouTube, it will open in this window only. You can change that in the settings. Yes. So thanks for watching my video. Please like, comment and subscribe to my channel. Also don't forget to join my Telegram channel. There also I post tech news etc. Thanks a lot.